Hey YouTube, Secret here, hope you're all doing well. I've got another Epic 7 video for you all today. Seeing as Remnant Violet is now in the Mystic rotation, I thought it fitting to do a quick guide on him, and if you've not pulled for him yet, I'll give you some pros and cons to let you decide whether to use them hard-earned Mystic medals on him. On request, I'm going to go over the build first. A quick note on his artifact: I use Moonlight Dreamblade because I have it maxed out. As a damage dealer, having a plus 30 artifact will give you more stats than a 5-star not fully maxed, but you can go for another one if you do choose to. I'll run through the gear quickly and you can see the stats on the left. Speed penetration set I believe is optimal for him. High speed with as much damage stats as you can get. You can change the pen set for crit if you have no good pen pieces, but you will lose some damage on him. And after this I will show you another build you can run him on, but it's not my favourite way to play him. This is the alternative build. This build is lifesteal and crit, or more optimally lifesteal and penetration. It's designed more so to sit on his evasion buff and let his focus build up so you can use his S3 for free, but I'm not as keen on this playstyle as I am the other one that I just showed you previous to this. I'm going to run the gameplay so you guys can see what he's like, and I will tell you the pros and cons for him. So I've had Rylot a long time. He was, and in some ways still is, my favourite unit. He's a single target nuke. On pen set his S3 actually penetrates 65% defense, and in this bruiser meta he hits very hard. Most DPS units he can just straight one shot, and at this speed he's built he can take out an enemy very early in the battle before they even get a chance to move. His S3 also gives himself attack buff, so he is a very self-sufficient damage dealer in that respect. His S2 gives him evasion at the start of the battle and at the end of his turn, which it's like his defense mechanism kind of. On Moonlight Dreamblade he has 70% evasion in total, which is really nice, although it's heavily reliant on RNG. One hit on him that gets through and he actually can just end up dying. He also gains 1 focus from his passive on every successful evasion, and at 5 focus he will use his S3 for free on a random ally, which is really nice, doesn't affect the cooldowns. S1 plays into the evasion and it puts decreased hit chance on the enemy. He also has a really nice imprint concentration, which is critical hit chance, and his kit is just really nice and simple, but he does deal really good damage. So my biggest issue with Rylot at the minute in this current meta is actually how his evasion buff works. Damage wise, he does his job correctly, he deals enough damage, but because his only survivability comes in the form of an actual buff, it actually makes him quite bad right now. Most of the top played units in the meta just basically strip the buff away from him before he even gets a chance to try and evade, which kind of makes his passive not really work that well because he doesn't get a chance to evade much and stack that focus up. So in the meta currently we have Concrelilius, Balion, Rem, Ran, AOL and Politis. You're going to find at least one of them units in every single team you come across, whether it be Arena, RTA or Guild War. Also, every single one of them units kind of either naturally outspeed him, or they have an inherent passive or ability that allow them to strip before he gets to move, which means he has to play the first part of the battle without his evasion buff, so he can't start stacking up that focus early on. The alternate build I showed you earlier, the lifesteal one, that does kind of attempt to play into the passive and stacking of his focus, but honestly if you want to use Rylot for that playstyle, there isn't much I can do to convince you or myself to just not run Earth Violet. He seems to do the job much better, and his evasion is baked into his kit already, so it's not in the form of a buff, where Rylot's is. On the other hand though, if you are looking for a single target nuke, then I actually think there might be some other options out there that are a little bit more viable than what Rylot is currently. This is a little bit about what upsets me about him, because I really do like him. I think his kit is great and his design is great and I want to use him, but a lot of the time I feel like I can pick a different unit that can kind of do his job a little bit better. Maybe not deal more damage, but it's like once you've fired off his S3, if he doesn't evade, he really doesn't do very much after that. His S1 does hit very hard and it has the decreased hit chance, but with both attacks being single target, he just doesn't really bring that much to the table. And even though I said he is a self-sufficient damage dealer, he's also quite greedy. He doesn't do anything for the team. He brings no extra support. There's nothing really there that you can build a team around. He's just a single unit that he works on his own, but he also doesn't really work with anybody else. There are some teams you could probably bring with him, some sustain maybe, a bit of extra mitigation that would allow him to kind of be, you know, a single force to deal with the enemy. But again, it falls under that category that if he doesn't evade and you've got him built on the high speed, high damage build, most units have enough damage to just take him out. As you can see, mine doesn't have much health or defense, so if somebody does manage to sneak past that 70% evasion or strip him and he's only sat at the 20% evasion from Moonlight, then any amount of damage is going to kill him. And he doesn't have anything else in his kit or anything really to stop him from just dying, which is why I think it probably is quite difficult at the minute to justify using a Mystic Pity on him. But saying that, I am hoping, and obviously I can't say this for certain, but with him being back in the Mystic rotation, Smilegate might have an idea to buff him. I'm not sure, but you know, Violet got quite a big buff. He was very oppressive after it. Maybe Remnant Violet is going to get a buff as well and become a good unit, or not a good unit as say, but a better unit. I think what they could do to make him a little bit better would be to take the evasion buff away from him and give him just some straight baked in evasion similar to Violet. Maybe not 50%, they could lower it maybe a little bit, and then that evasion would be there baseline no matter what. So that would give him much more survivability, even if he had the same as Violet, just say 55-60% chance to evade, slightly over the 50-50 line, just so you know he has that extra survivability without getting stripped by all these big oppressive units. So if you haven't pulled for him yet, maybe you want to hold off just to see if they do drop a buff for him. But if this video has swayed you from pulling for him, that also could be quite a good thing, because the caliber in which Smilegate have been pumping out ML5s recently, I mean even ML4s, look at AOL, she's very oppressive, very strong kit, she's 2 or 3 units built into one. Not so much wasting, but using a Mystic Pity on Remnant Violet could be a mistake. I mean, it would definitely be worth waiting to see what the unit after Remnant Violet is before you pull for him. So my opinion personally would be to keep saving, wait a couple of weeks for the live stream, see what unit gets announced, see what the kit looks like. If you don't like that, you can always then drop your Mystics on Remnant Violet if you want him. But anyway, thank you all for watching. That's about all for this video. I'll let this battle play out so you can just watch the end of it. I really appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me lately. And I'd just like to ask further if you would like the videos, if you do enjoy them, and please consider subscribing to the channel. It does mean a lot. I really do enjoy making this content for you guys, so thank you again for watching. Secret Sinner out.